Good morning, everyone. Am I audible? Okay. So in the last class, uh, we have discussed database model. Okay, and first of all, the last 2 days, due to the convocation, actually, I'm not able to take your class. So I will take some extra classes later, if possible by Saturday, like the previous week. I will do a extra class. I will inform. We have discussed the database models. That means database models means based on which model we are going to store the data. Okay, because database means basically the collection of data, but we need a proper plan how we are going to store the data, and database models reflect this strategy. Okay, the hierarchical database model, network database model, we have object oriented database model and relational database model. So in database model, four students have already give the presentation regarding this, and it is not bad. Everyone is trying to explain it properly. Okay, any confusion in any model? Anyone have any query about any model? If no, we can proceed to the next topic then. Anyone have any query? Hello. Do you have any query or not? Okay. Okay. Today the topic is schema and instances. So I think you have heard the term called instances. So can anyone tell me in which course you have heard? Because one of the course from your fifth sem itself. I believe that the respective faculty have already covered this point of instances. Somewhere he mentioned that this is the instance. Instance means this one, or some. This means the instance of something in the fifth sem course itself. So can anyone tell me in which course you have heard instance and what does it mean? Yes, in object oriented programming. Yes, good, Jitul. So what does it mean? What does a instance mean? Okay, what instance means? So in object oriented program, when we create the object means instance of a class. In simple terms, suppose Jitul. Jitul means a human being, a human being, or in simple terms we can say that it is a living human body. Okay, if we ignore the names of each and every human, okay, all are same, all are human. The only difference is that they have different names. That means a body, a living body, to recognize this body, the parents or their seniors, they give a name to that body. Suppose Jitul. Then when anyone wants to interact with this particular body, he or she called by his name. Then for Jitul, the name Jitul itself the instance of that particular body. Do you get my point? Okay. That means instance means to represent or to assess in a, that means in different approach their motive is slight different. In object oriented, we create the object to assess the class. In database, we define the instance to represent how we are storing the data. Okay, so that means in different areas, in different sectors, their definition being slight change, but the overall motive, overall concept is same. Okay, and what is schema? Schema means the overall design. Okay? Because we have to design a database, the overall design is called as suppose schema. That means this is the overall design of the database. That means in this particular way, finally, based on some particular suppose model, object oriented or relational or hierarchical or network, based of any kind of model, by following any kind of model we are going to store some data. Okay, and data are should be in this part. Okay, that means when suppose when the car maker design the car, there are different levels which is visible to different person. As a normal user, only a selected portion is visible. Okay, as we discussed different type of user, for different user there are different kind of access. So similarly for designing also for different user, different kind of overall design is available. There is a overall design and there are some intermediate design. Okay, right? Schema and instances. Everyone right? Schema and instances. First of all, write instances. The collection of information the collection of information stored in the database the collection of information stored in the database at a particular moment is called on or it's called an instance of the database. Okay. Next, write schema. The overall design of the database the overall design of the database the overall design of the database is called the database schema. After full stop, write a database schema corresponds to the a database schema corresponds to the variable declaration in a program. Next paragraph. There are three types of schema. There are three types of schema. Number one, physical schema. Conceptual schema, and external schema. Okay, now leave some space. I have shared the photos of the diagram in a group. Okay. So leave some space. Then you write physical schema. Later you draw this diagram in the space. Leave some space. Physical schema. Physical schema describes physical schema describes the database design. Physical schema describes the database design at the physical level. That means the internal one. Full stop. The it it highlights it highlights how the relations described in the conceptual schema. It highlights it highlights how the relations described how the relations described in the conceptual schema are actually stored on secondary devices. Secondary devices such as disk and tabs.
Such as
Such as hard disks, and tabs. Next, conceptual schema. The conceptual schema, also known as logical schema, which is also known as logical schema, describes the stored data describe the stored data in terms of the data model of the database management system. After full stop, it also describes the relations, describe all relations, describe the relation, not describes all relations that are stored in the database, Next, external schema. This is the external schema. That means the schema which is visible to the end user. External schemas which usually are also in terms of data model of the database management system, DBMS. In terms of data model of the database management system, allow data access to be customized allow data access to be customized at the level of individual users or groups of users. So basically, when we are designing uh, some database, we have to take care of different aspects of the database. First of all, we have to decide using which model we are going to collect the data to generate the database. How we are going to store the data, what will be its overall design, what will be its internal designs. Okay, but we have to look after all these points. Apart from this also, there are another few points you have to take care while designing the database. But first of all, a database is not simply like some you collect some data and you store somewhere. It is not like that. If you go to the simple definition, it will highlight the database management system, or database means collection of some data or database management system means the process in which we are collecting some data and we are managing it. But although it shows it looks like very simple, but actually when you are going to uh, store the data, or when you are going to create the database in a proper manner, in a proper way, uh, for future use for a long period of time, so you have to take care of lots of points. Okay, and this schema instances are also some important points of a database creation. Okay, is it okay? Are you able to understand what is schema, what is instances? Is it okay to everyone? Okay, what about the others? Okay, okay, in the next class then we are discussing about data independence. Okay.